Hello, everybody. My name is Jason Lamb. I'm with KY3 Sports in Springfield, Missouri, and this is 2021-22 Heart of America Men's Basketball Conference Media Day. And joining us right now is the head coach at Peru State, Coach Bob Ludwig. Coach, how are you today?
Fantastic. How are you doing, Jason?
Oh, we're doing all right. It's hard to believe that the college basketball season is just about upon us. I know some teams are getting started playing games this weekend, and I guess I'll start out with you and just how things look here so far this early with your team.
Good. We're coming off. Obviously, it was a crazy year for everybody, but I think in particular, at Peru State with us doing pretty consistent weekly testing. It was a rough year last year with so many unknowns. And so to be back in a situation in which we've got to return to some normalcy, to have had nobody out with any quarantines and very few problems with injuries has been a blessing. And, we're hoping that continues. It's been a group that's been a lot of fun to work with. So far, so good here in terms of preseason practices.
That's good to hear. I know it must be nice to be returning to a sense of normalcy, just, socially and at practice and, and playing basketball and everything. Along with that, what are some of the positive things you've seen out of your squad so far?
Yeah, well, really good depth, bringing back, I think, around 9 guys who played, some type of varsity minutes. That's really allowed our returners to hit the ground running as far as just, hey, how we go about things and what our regimen or practices look like. There has not been much of a catch-up period for any of our new guys. We had a lot of them, not all of them, but most of them here at different points this summer, getting to know one another and working out. We felt like that's gone a long way to having a good fall and, so far having a good October. So they've got a really good sense of togetherness. Again, those returners did a phenomenal job just kind of setting an example for how we would like to get things done. And it's just been a really enjoyable group to work with so far. So we're pretty optimistic.
You mentioned depth. That's a great thing to have, and that increases the competitiveness, I would say.
No doubt. Yeah, I mean, that's been, there's been a lot of days, and it's a good problem to have that, for the most part here in October, we've tried to split the teams up pretty equally in practice, but on days where, we've put together a unit that we feel like sticking out, that second unit, probably wins in those drills or live segments half the time. So, we're going to have to decide before next Wednesday in our first exhibition game who's starting here, but it's a good problem to have that we genuinely feel like we've got a couple layers of guys that, could step into a starting role and be productive for us. So that's definitely been something that's helped the competitiveness of practice, no doubt.
Okay. It looks like you have 4 starters returning for your team this year. As you take a look at the Bobcats, who are some of the headliners that you look forward to most, who you think might have great years?
Just in terms of the returners?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, those 4 guys probably give themselves the best shot. Skylar Wilson has really stepped his game up, taken his game to another level. He sat out the majority of the last 7 or 8 games on an ankle injury last year. Isaac Simpson had a phenomenal offseason in the weight room, is bigger, stronger, and more physical, and is shooting the ball at a really high level. Henry Tanksy and Ty Griggs continue to move forward as well. So those are the 4, that you're referring to that started games, throughout. Henry and Isaac and Skylar, started maybe a couple more than Ty did. Ty had kind of an adjustment period early last winter, but have all 4 been really good, so, definitely expect, that at different times throughout the year, that those guys will start games for us. Do feel like we'll probably have varying starting lineups throughout the year, but those 4 guys have just been phenomenal, really, really fun to work with, and have all made improvements. So we're excited about it.
Okay. And then how about your newcomers? Looks like you have 3 new guys.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot more than three. You know, I didn't know how many to list. You know, we've got a ton of guys that have come in that we feel like have a chance to help us. Man Baker, you know, from Colorado, is a point guard who's a really high level kid that him and Skyler just kind of going back and forth every day and making us feel really good about our point guard situation. If you had to play them together, you could. That they defend on a high enough level to where you could do that. Donzel Johnson, Tanjay Durham, and SJ Steven Allison Jr. are kind of three guys who shoot the ball at a really high level for us, but kind of 3 and D plus guys in that they don't just make shots. They can do things off the deck and are kind of multifaceted there. So we're kind of trying to sift through some position groups and see who rises to the top. Troy Houghton, Sioux Falls transfer, we feel like has an opportunity to be the best defensive player in the conference, can guard multiple positions and continues to improve his offensive game. Dadoch Chan and Jabril Harris are two guys we've added in the front line that have been pretty talented players. You know, Dadoch has really been good lately. You know, Jabril's kind of playing catch up off of an injury, getting himself back into shape, but have been really good. Ajante Hogan has been a pleasant surprise, a true freshman from Lincoln Southeast. He was their career leading scorer in high school. We felt like through the summer and the fall, kind of he had some adjustments to make just to the speed and the motor needed and you know, what it takes to compete at the college level. But boy, since October, you know, he's put himself in the mix. So got a lot of new guys that, you know, are playing at a pretty high level. Christian Tidion's another freshman post player that, you know, might be on the outside looking in because of some of the older guys and how they've been playing, but we're excited about him as well. So, you know, the competitiveness in practice and what that's produced and how supportive those guys have been of one another has been pretty enjoyable. So again, we're excited to go to work with this group.
And speaking of that group, I know you've taken two of your teams to the NAIA National Tournament. What will it take to get the Bobcats back in the national tournament this year?
You know, probably the top two things are going to be ball security and team defense, two areas where we really struggled last year. We gave up a lot of points and we turned the ball over more than anybody in the league. You know, part of that was, you know, Skyler getting hurt and not really having a point guard, having kind of a shake up in our roster at the end of the year. But we want to return now that we've got a little bit more juice, a little bit more depth. We want to get back to playing a little faster. And if we're going to do that, obviously we've got to take care of the ball. And then, you know, there's nowhere to go but up for our team defense. I do feel like this is a group where we've got, you know, more added length in physicality. And again, the returners really making some strides in the weight room. I'm hoping will show up, you know, on the defensive side of the ball. We've got, you know, a really difficult non-conference schedule. So, you know, whether it will all get put together early enough to show up in the wins and losses remains to be seen. But, you know, we're playing, you know, 4 teams that combined 6 times, of which all went to the national tournament. So, you know, 6 games in the non-conference alone against teams, you know, that qualified last year for the national tournament as the divisions combined. So it'll definitely challenge our guys, but I also feel like it'll really get them ready for hard play and will give us a much better sense, you know, for a much better opportunity to improve before maybe December. So excited about how the schedule lays out.
Okay. And my last question for you, Coach, we'll play a little recruiting game here for those of us who aren't familiar with Peru State College and haven't been on campus. How would you describe your campus and your arena and what it's like to be there? Sure.
Well, our campus, you know, the facilities and the campus community are pretty special here at Peru. You know, we feel like we're definitely in the top few of the league as it relates to, you know, our basketball, you know, facility and our weight room and kind of the Al Wheeler Athletic Center, et cetera. Very nice campus, small. You know, we only have in and around 1,300 kids on campus. The town is kind of the college. You know, if you're here during the summer, a lot of our guys who stay for the summer maybe go up to Omaha or Lincoln, so they got better access to jobs and what have you, because the campus really thrives when school's in session and the kids are here. But we are an hour away from Omaha, give or take, hour away from Lincoln. We don't have class on Fridays, and that really enables our guys to get back home maybe for when they need, or, you know, maybe get up to one of those 2 cities that, you know, obviously have larger universities and are, you know, larger college towns. So that way, you know, I think it's kind of the best of both worlds. You can really be focused here on trying to concentrate on the two things that matter most, your degree in basketball. And at the same time, we're close enough, to some larger towns. If you need to get away, you can. So I really enjoyed it coming into year 5. I live up in Nebraska City, but it's only about 20 minutes away. And I have to split distance because my wife works in the Omaha area. But we've really, really enjoyed Peru State and hope to be here for a long time.
Sounds great, Coach. Thank you so much. Bob Ludwig, the head coach of the Peru State College Bobcats. Coach, good luck to you this season.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.